Hello friends, a very warm welcome to all of you and I'm Gaurav Gupta and I welcome all of you on the YouTube channel of BYJU'S Exam Prep. So can you all tell me if I am clearly audible and visible to all of you? Varun, good afternoon, good to see you once again in the session. Can you all please quickly confirm if I'm clearly audible and visible to all of you? All right, so I can see that. Yes, I am audible and visible to all of you. So, friends, a very warm welcome to all of you. Good afternoon. I'm Gaurav Gupta, and I once again welcome all of you on the YouTube channel of BYJU'S Exam Prep. Friends, those who have started the preparation of CAT 2023 or any of the entrance examinations for the next year, or those who are planning to begin with their preparation, I can say that one of the most one of the biggest thing that will be bothering all of you in your mind will be the preparation for LRDI. Now, probably it will not be bothering you at this point in time. You might not be thinking about LRDI, but later on, I am sure that most of you will get disturbed because of this LRDI section. Now, this LRDI section is okay, Gibson, thank you very much for confirmation. Thank you. So friends, welcome back once again. So I was saying that this LRDI section in particular will definitely bother you at some point in time during your preparation for CAT 2023 or any of the entrance examination in the next calendar year. Now this LRDI section, I can say that it is a very dicey section when we all are preparing for this particular section. Now for quant, I can say that there is a predefined syllabus, and if we'll cover all those chapters, then we can score well. So a preparation of 5 to 6 months in for quant, you will be able to improve and score well. Similar thing I can say about verbal ability, practicing reading comprehensions, having a good knowledge of verbal ability enables you to score good in verbal RC section also. But LRDI is altogether a different set of thing that we need to prepare for. So friends, in this section, first of all, I'll be telling you how LRDI section has behaved over the last few years in CAT. All right. So the agenda of this session starts with discussing about the LRDI section, the behavior of LRDI section, the type of question that we have seen, the breakup between LR and DI sections. All right. So for the first few minutes, we'll be talking about all these things. Then I'll be telling you what score is actually required, what score should actually be targeted in order to score above 90 percentile in LRDI section. Obviously the targets should be very much clear in our mind in front of us. The targets that we should be setting in front of us should be realistic. If we are setting unrealistic targets and catching them, then it will result in huge amount of disappointment, huge amount of demotivation for all of us. All right, so we'll be talking about all these things. Then I'll be telling you what all areas you need to focus to prepare for LR and DI section. After that, I'll be telling you, if you are a beginner, what should be the plan of action to prepare for LRDI. Let's say I don't have any basic knowledge of LRDI section. So what should I be doing? Let's say if I have some basic amount of information, I have already started preparation for the LRDI section. And then what should be the course of action? How should we divide the next 1 year in order to boost my preparation? All right. So definitely I'll not leave you directionless. I'll be giving you some direction so that you can start your preparation and will be moving on right path towards a wonderful score in LRDI section. All right. Now, some of the students are saying, Varun, you are saying, sir, I'm not able to meet the standard of LRDI of CAT level even after the practice of logic of some question stuff, since we are used to solve non-CAT LRDI. So Varun, this is the biggest problem with some of the students, that they keep solving the basic level questions. They keep indulge themselves in non-CAT examinations, and they are unable to reach up to the level of difficulty of CAT. All right. So in this session, definitely I'll be telling all of you how to divide your time so that you'll be able to reach up to the required level of difficulty and should be able to solve the questions at the time of CAT. Okay. All right, Yash is saying, sir, is this help to Karnataka PGCET means your GK and other videos? Yes, so Yash, if you are preparing for any of the entrance examination in this country, be it bank PO, be it any CET examination, be it any regional level examination, but as far as this is an aptitude level examination, definitely these sessions which we are conducting on quant, verbal, GK, definitely all these sessions will help you. All right. Okay. So friends, today's agenda is set. Now we'll be talking majorly how to prepare for LRDI section for CAT 2023. All right. So I'll start with how basically this particular section has behaved over the last few years. So let's talk about LRDI sections in the last few years. So I'll be talking about total number of questions. Now these questions are divided or they are asked in two different formats, MCQs or TETA questions. You must be knowing what are TETA questions. So in TETA questions, you will not be given options, but you will have to type the final answer. Definitely the final answer will be a numeric, will be a number. Okay. Then the total marks and the time that is allocated for this particular section in this examination. So we'll start from CAT 2017, 5 years back. Okay, so at that time, there used to be 32 questions in LRDS section. There were 24 MCQs and 8 TETA questions. Every question was of 3 marks. So the total weightage for this section was 32 into 3, that is 96, and a time allocation of 1 hour. Yes, complete 1 hour was given earlier, and we had to solve 32 questions in this 1 hour. Similar pattern we saw in 2018. Okay, so exactly same thing, 32 questions with 24 MCQs, 8 non-MCQs, 96 marks and 60 minutes. All right, more or less similar pattern was continued in 2019. So again, 32 questions and 60 minutes. But because of pandemic, this section changed, the pattern of CAT overall changed, and in 2020 we saw only 24 questions which needs to be solved in 40 minutes. All right, so out of these 24 questions, 18 were MCQs and 6 non-MCQs, and 24 into 3, the weightage of each question remains same. So 24 questions, 72 marks to be finished in 40 minutes, right? Now, once again, we saw a slight change in CAT 2021, all right, with the number of questions reduced to 20. So these 20 questions needs to be solved in the same amount of time as it was given the previous year. So 40 minutes, but number of questions reduced to 20, right? And number of MCQs and non-MCQs were 14 and 6 respectively. The weightage of each question remains same in the last 5 years. So every question was of 3 marks, 20 into 3. So the entire section was of 60 marks. All right. So this was how LRDI section behaved in the last 5 years. All right. Now, out of these total questions in LRDI, there were some questions of logical reasoning and there were some questions of data interpretations. All right. Now, Karthik, you are asking how many sets do we have in total? So, Karthik, I'll be telling you this particular thing now. Okay. So, I'll be telling you the same thing about the last 5 years. I am not sure what will be there in CAT 2022 because CAT 2022 is yet to happen. And then what will be there if you're an aspirant for CAT 2023. Okay, so let's talk about the number of sets, and I'll also give you a breakup of how many sets of logical reasoning were there and how many sets of data interpretation were there. Okay, so let's have a look at this. So breakup of DI and LR questions. CAT 2017, out of total of 32 questions, there were 4 sets of data interpretation and there were 4 sets of logical reasoning. Now, each of these 4 sets had 4 questions in data interpretations and as well as in logical reasoning. So in total, there were 8 sets and every set had 4 questions with equal number of questions in data interpretation and logical reasoning. This is how it happened in 2017. Now in 2018, things changed a little bit. So again, the number of questions was 32, as we already know now. Total number of sets was 8. Every set had 4 questions, but there were only 3 sets in data interpretation and there were 5 sets in logical reasoning. So I can say that when there were only 12 questions in data interpretation, there were 20 questions of logical reasoning in CAT 2018. All right. So I can say that from 2017 to 2018, the weightage for logical reasoning, it increased. It increased by 4 questions. So logical reasoning increased by 4. So data interpretation, it dropped by 4 questions. Okay. Now, a similar thing, a similar change was again seen in CAT 2019. So in CAT 2019, again, total number of sets was same, number of questions in each set was same, but in CAT 2019, data interpretation, again, there was a reduction of 4 questions, one entire set. So when there were 3 sets in 2018, 4 sets in 2017, in data interpretation, there were only 2 sets in CAT 2019, with again 1 set increase in logical reasoning. So 2 sets in data interpretation and 6 sets of logical reasoning. So we could see that from 2017 to 2018 and then to 2019, the weightage of logical reasoning, it kept on increasing. All right. Now let's see what happened in 2020. Now in 2020, out of 24 questions, there were a total of 5 sets. So in 24 questions, there were a total of 5 sets. All right. Now there was only 1 set of data interpretation, right? And there were 4 sets of logical reasoning. Number of questions in data interpretation was 4 only, 1 set of 4 questions. But in logical reasoning, out of the 4 sets, there were 2 sets having 6 questions and there were 2 sets having 4 questions each. All right. Now in 2021, in the next year, you can say that the last year CAT paper, further the number of questions decreased. Okay, so from 24, it became 20 questions in CAT 2021, with only 1 set having 4 questions of data interpretation and 3 sets of 6 plus 6 plus 6 questions in logical reasoning. So it is clearly evident, looking at the pattern of LRDI section in the last 5 years, it is clearly seen that the weightage of logical reasoning has kept on increasing. Now in CAT 2022 or 2023, we can observe a similar pattern. So comparatively, the weightage of data interpretation will be low and weightage of logical reasoning will be more than that. Okay. Okay, so Pranada Shinde, you are asking how many sets we are expected to solve. So Pranada, I have answer for this question also. Okay, so just wait for 5 minutes and you will get to know what or how much number of questions, how many number of questions was required to solve, required to be solved in the last 5 years to achieve 90 percentile or 95 percentile or maybe 99 percentile. Okay, so I have the breakup of this as well. So here it is. Now let's talk about score versus percentile over the last 5 years. Now you'll be amazed to see the score or the number of questions effectively we need to answer correctly in order to achieve 90, 95 or 99 percentile. So talking about CAT 2017, let's start from there. Now CAT 2017, there were a total of 32 questions, right? The time allocated was 60 minutes. Okay. Now to score 90 percentile, you require only 28 marks. That means a total of 9 to 10 questions correct. So effectively, a student who has marked 9 to 10 questions correctly has scored above 90 percentile in CAT 2017. All right. So out of 32 questions, if I'm able to mark 9 to 10 questions correctly, I've got 90 percentile. Now a score of 35, that means somewhere around 11 to 12 questions effectively correct will fetch you 95 percentile, and somewhere around 15 questions effectively correct will fetch you 99 percentile. All right. So the entire paper was of 96 marks, and less than half, 96 ka less than half, 45, at 45 marks, a person has scored 99 percentile in this section of CAT. All right. Now let's look at if the same trend continues, or there was some exception in CAT 2017. So let us talk about what happened in the next year. Okay. So for CAT 2018, these are the scores. So again, the paper was of 96 marks. This section was of 96 marks. 60 minutes were given to us, and a similar score, 27 for 90 percentile, 34 for 95 percentile, and a score of 44. So again, less than 50% of the marks are required to score 99 percentile in CAT 2018. All right, CAT 2019, you can see the scores by yourself. So the scores required to achieve the same percentiles increased a little bit, because in CAT 2019 we have seen a slightly lower level of difficulty in this particular section as compared to the last 2 years. Okay. Now for CAT 2020, when the number of questions was reduced to 24, okay, so 24 into 3 is 72. So once again, less than 50% marks are required to score 99 percentile or above. So at 34 marks, that means somewhere around 11 to 12 questions effectively correct, you will be able to score 99 plus percentile. For 25, you need 8 to 9 questions correctly. So 25 marks, that means effectively 8 to 9 correct will fetch you 95, and somewhere around 6 to 7 correct number of questions will fetch you above 90 percentile. Now the last year, in CAT 2021, what happened? Out of total of 20 questions, a student who has scored 26 marks. So that means weightage, total weightage for this section was 60. So out of 60, if I've scored 26 marks, I'm able to score 99 percentile. So consistently, we have seen over the last 5 years, a person scoring just below 50% marks in this section has scored 99 percentile. Okay, for 95 percentile, somewhere around 1/3 you can score to achieve this percentile, and to score 90 plus percentile, less than 1/3 score was required. Okay, so even if you will target somewhere around 40 to 50% marks in LRDI and are able to achieve this particular target, then I can say that you can easily manage 95 percentile or above in LRDI section, which is not difficult if you have a proper plan in front of you. All right. Okay. So this was how LRDI section behaved in the last 5 years. Now, with this particular thing in mind, you can set some realistic targets in front of you. All right. Now let's move ahead and talk about what all areas we need to focus to do good in data interpretation and logical reasoning. Now, friends, I'm talking from CAT's point of view. Right now, in this session, my agenda is not SNAP, not NMAT, not any other examination, but CAT 2023. All right. So these are the areas that I have mentioned on the screen need to be focused to do good in LRDI section of CAT 2023. Now, if I talk about data interpretation, so definitely anything that is related to data interpretation, any format of the question that comes in data interpretation are required to be practiced to do good in data interpretation. All right. So starting from different types, different ways in which data is given to us, tables, bar graphs, line charts, histograms, pie charts, multiple charts. So the questions can be a combination of 2 or more charts. So they may give you some data in the form of line graphs, they may give you some data in the form of pie charts, and then you'll have to read, you'll have to collaborate the data that is given to you in the multiple charts to answer the questions that will be followed. All right. Now further, the questions can be from the area of Venn diagrams and roots and networks. So roots and networks is one of the hot favorites of CAT in the last few years. Okay, we have seen good number of questions coming from this area. All right. Now, when I'll go to logical reasoning, I can say that definitely logical reasoning's weightage has been increasing over the last few years. So the topics that I've mentioned, definitely arrangements. Okay, so arrangements groupings is one of the most important areas that you need to focus on. Okay, then games and tournaments, one of the hot favorite topics of CAT over the last 5 to 6 years. Puzzles, team formations, order and ranking, binary logic, and then some logical questions on Venn diagrams. So when in data interpretation, you will find questions on Venn diagrams, which will include a lot of numbers and a lot of calculations. In logical reasoning, you will find some of the questions of you will find some of the questions of Venn diagram, which are related to the maxima and minima, basic logic of maxima and minima of Venn diagrams. All right. So you can find different type of questions from Venn diagrams, starting from a 3-set Venn diagram, a 4-set Venn diagram, or the maxima and minima in Venn diagrams. Okay, so all these areas need to be prepared well in order to do good in LR and DI section of CAT. All right, so these are the areas. Now let's come to the most important part. What all study material that we must be using, and then how to basically start our preparation or give a proper direction to our preparation. So first of all, let us understand what all study material that we have or that we must manage to start our preparation. So a lot of times it happens that we have some study material and we don't use that in a proper way. Okay, so I'll be giving you a list of study material that first of all you need to practice in this particular sequence. Okay, the sequence in which we are practicing questions is very important. So we should start with the basic study material, all right, and then slowly and gradually we should be increasing the level of difficulty. It's not like that you start solving previous year CAT papers first. No, it should not be done. So previous year CAT papers, yes, they need to be solved, but not at the beginning of your preparation. Okay, so let's have a look at the study material in a proper sequence in which it should be used. Number one, the basic study material. Okay, so a study material having the basic sets of data interpretation. So basic questions which are based on tabular data, line graphs, bar graphs. All right. And then some logical reasoning questions which are based on linear arrangements having less number of people, circular arrangements with less number of conditions. Directly don't pick up lengthy questions. Okay. So it is important to basically make your base, make your foundation strong. If the foundation will be strong, then you can lay down any level of difficulty over that strong foundation. Okay, so the first thing that needs to be focused on is the basic study material having all the basic sets. Okay, now after that you must start with the topic wise test. So if you are a student who has bought any particular test series, or you are a student of BYJU'S exam prep, so BYJU'S exam prep offers like a comprehensive program, as well as the questions of different level of difficulties in a proper format. Okay, so once you are done with your basic study material, or once you are solving the basic study material, parallelly you can start with the topic wise test. Okay, so it should not be like first of all you will finish the entire basic study material and then you will start solving the topic wise test. No, so once you are done with one or two areas, one or two chapters in the basic study material, while you are studying the next chapters from the basic study material, in parallel you can start solving the topic wise tests of all the areas and the chapters which you have covered earlier, which you have finished earlier from the basic study material. All right, fine. So you need to maintain a proper cycle for each and everything. Okay, so basic study material, let's say you have started from 0 and you have reached up to this level. Now you can start with topic wise tests so that you can keep moving parallelly in these two things, right? Now once you have started topic wise test and have solved considerable amount of topic wise test, okay, or you are about to finish that, then you can start with the sectional test. Now when you were solving topic wise test, then while solving one test, you have an idea of the type of questions, of the area from which the questions will be coming. Now, once we are solving a sectional test means one entire section of LR and DI. It will be having a mix of questions, and that will be able to basically test your problem solving skills. Okay, so after topic tests are over, then you can switch to sectional test. Now, after that, you can go to the full length test. Okay, now full length test means a test which has all the three sections. So LRDI is one part of that examination, but there is verbal as well as quant in that full length test. Okay, so after sectional test, you can go for full length test, and then you can start solving mock papers of any of the test series that you have bought. All right, now after you have started, like, I'm not saying finish all the mock papers, but once you have started solving some mock papers or any of the test series, okay, then after solving 5 or 6 mock papers, you can start solving the previous year CAT papers. Okay, now after that, still, let's say if you need some practice, then you can buy a book from any of the famous authors. A lot of books are available in the market, but you should not be stopping your preparation. So once you are exhausted with all the questions, then you can buy some study material from the market, but never stop until CAT 2023. Okay, so this is the entire study material that you should be using. Okay, now let's talk about how you should be preparing for this particular section of CAT. Okay, now I have divided this particular thing in 2 parts. Now, first part is if you are a beginner, you don't have any basic knowledge of LR and DI. Fine, you are raw. Okay, you have just started your preparation, right? So these are the steps that you need to take. So first of all, divide the entire preparation in 3 parts. Okay, so let's say if I'll start from today, and I say that we have around 13 months for CAT 2023. So you can divide these 13 months in 3 parts. So for the first part of 4 or 5 months, similarly second part 5 months, and the third part 4 months. Okay, now what to be done in these 3 parts? So first of all, part 1, finish all the basics. So your basic study material, your topic wise test, these 2 things should be finished in these next 4 or 5 months. All right, now if let's say your foundation is weak, you are poor in calculations, so you should be starting first of all by practicing some calculation techniques, some faster calculation techniques. Okay, so you can devote 15 to 20 days on that, and then start solving questions related to data interpretation and logical reasoning. Okay, now for logical reasoning, you can start with some of the basic books of logical reasoning to build up your IQ level, so to increase your IQ level. Okay, so if your foundation is weak, first 15 to 20 days can be spent, can be utilized to boost, to basically strengthen your foundation, and then you can start practicing the questions from the books that you have purchased. But for the first 4 or 5 months, your basic study material should be finished. Now this can be managed in 2 months, but with LRDI you will have to manage the other 2 subjects as well. Some of you might be studying in college, you'll have to manage your college studies. So that is why I'm giving you 4 to 5 months starting today to boost, to prepare, and to work on your basics. All right, so this was part number 1. Part number 2, all sectional tests and full length tests. Now, this is the time when you will have to increase the level of difficulty gradually. All right. So till now in part 1, you have practiced all the basic level questions. In this part 2, you should be solving the questions which will have, let's say, multiple charts, the questions from Venn diagrams, maxima, minima, the questions from the arrangements in which there are a lot of conditions which are given, the questions from games and tournaments, the questions from games theory. All right, so in this particular time frame we will be increasing the level of difficulty, and we'll be practicing all these tests in a time bound environment. So in part 1, when probably you might not be focusing on the time that you are taking to solve a particular question or a particular test, in part 2, everything will be done in time bound environment so that now you can increase your speed. So in part 1, you must focus on your accuracy. In part 2, you must focus on your accuracy as well as your speed. All right. So the first thing that needs to be taken care of is accuracy, not speed. So once you will build up a good accuracy, then later stages you can start working on your speed. So this is part 2. You can start working on your, or you can work on improving your accuracy that you have built in part 1, and then now you can focus on your speed as well. All right. Now this was part 2. Now part 3 is the time when you can enter into a test series and also start solving the previous year paper questions of CAT. All right. Now test series, that means the entire, like all 3 sections together, and you'll be competing with the other students. You will be basically having a proper idea about your position vis-a-vis other students who are competing with you. Okay. CAT previous year paper questions will give you a proper idea about the level of difficulty as well as the pattern in which these questions are asked. So this is how you can divide your entire preparation. If you are doing this, then definitely you will be getting good score in LRDI section of CAT. Now, over the past 15 years of my teaching career, I can tell you that the students who have who have given the direction to their studies in this manner, they are able to manage a wonderful score in LRDI. All right. So this is what you can also do. Now make sure that starting from now, you are giving somewhere around 1 to 1.5 hours every day for this particular section. Okay. So what you can do is you can on daily basis, if your basics are strong, so you can solve 2 or 3 sets starting now on daily basis, and that will definitely take you to a wonderful score. Also, keep bookmarking the important sets. So let's say you come across a good set which has taught you something. Okay, so you must bookmark and save it for future revision purposes. Okay, do the revision occasionally, which is very important. Note that it is extremely important to do a proper analysis of any of the tests that you take. So in the first part, when you were taking topic wise test, in the second part, you were taking sectional and full length test, and then the mock test series. So after every test is over, you must do a proper analysis, make a note of your strengths and weaknesses, and then make a list of the areas which needs to be improved. All right. So this is very important, a proper analysis. Now this is when you are a beginner. Now, if you have already covered some distance, that means you know some things about LRDI, you are good in mathematics, you are good in logic. Okay. Or you have already started your preparation a few months back and you have finished some of the basic study material, and you are familiar about the pattern of CAT, about the level of difficulty, about the type of questions that you need to prepare for. Then what you must do is you can continue with any of the good test series. Okay. Now test series doesn't mean you start taking mock papers. No, not at this point in time. All right. So a test series, a comprehensive test series has a lot of topic based questions, topic wise questions, sectional test. Okay. So you must start practicing these things. Okay. You can finish all the sectional tests after that and then keep solving the full length test at regular intervals. Identify your weak areas. So if you have good background about this section, then it will be easier for you to identify your weak areas in the initial stages. Okay. So some of the important areas can be Venn diagrams, like I've mentioned, maxima minima in Venn diagrams, which can bother you, arrangement questions, which have like a lot of conditions in them, the questions of games and tournaments. So these are some areas that you can start focusing on in the initial stages as well. All right. Making sure that you are studying, you are devoting at least 1 hour to this particular section, almost daily basis. Okay. Also, the same thing for you. Keep bookmarking the important sets, and a proper revision, occasional proper revision is required. Okay. Now make a point clear in your mind that LRDI is all about practice and then gaining momentum. So if you have gained a proper momentum in this particular section, then this momentum will take you further and you'll be able to score good marks. But if you lose your momentum at any instance, so let's say you study continuously for the next 6 months, okay, but for 1 month you stopped studying LRDI, you stopped practicing the questions of LRDI, then your level will come down, and then it will take the same amount of time to take yourself to that particular level. Okay, so if let's say you have your college examinations, you have some other occupancy, if not daily basis, try to practice LRDI on alternate basis or on a gap, at a gap of 2 or 3 days. But make sure that you are always regular. You are maintaining this particular momentum and not losing this momentum up till CAT 2023. All right. So friends, that is all from my side. If you have any further questions to ask about your preparation, if you're facing any difficulty related to any of the any of these sections in CAT, then you can post your question here and I would love to answer those queries. Now, some important things for some of the students who are preparing for the entrance examinations in the next year. So we are starting with CAT 2023 comprehensive program, and all the details are mentioned on the screen. So you can enroll for this program and boost your preparation, start your preparation for CAT 2023 as well as the other entrance examinations. Now, for students who are preparing, who are taking examinations in this year, All India Open Mock for NMAT 2022 is already live starting from 14th of October, and it will be live up till 22nd of October. So make sure that you attempt this particular paper. You will be getting video solutions by experts, and with this test, you'll be able to analyze your strengths and weaknesses and identify your test taking strategy. All right, so make sure that you attempt this examination. Also, like I mentioned that we also offer a wonderful test series that you can buy. So those who are the aspirants for this year, yes, this will be more helpful for all of you. The others who are the aspirants for the next year, they must go for the CAT comprehensive program. So this test series has 70 plus mock papers, more than 9,000 practice questions, more than 1,000 topic wise tests, and there are a lot of things that you can explore in this test series. All right. Okay. Now, for the students who are preparing again for CAT 2022, Last Lap to CAT 2022 series has already started. So the first session was already conducted yesterday, that is 17th of October, and there will be 20 PARPEX session which will be conducted in total every day at 7 p.m. All right, so you can join us live on the YouTube channel of BYJU'S Exam Prep for Last Lap to 2022. In this session, we'll be covering highly probable questions that will definitely increase your section-wise score in CAT 2022. Daily at 7 p.m. live on the YouTube channel of BYJU'S Exam Prep. So friends, you can follow us on these social networking platforms. So on YouTube, you can subscribe our channel, you can follow us on Insta, like our Facebook page, join our Telegram channel, and you can download our app from the Google Play. That's it from my side, friends. Thank you very much to all of you. Have a nice day.